than a decade specializing in microbiology. She holds a Doctor of Pathology in Medical Microbiology and has trained internationally with the World Health Organization in Switzerland and the University of Geneva. She has represented Malaysia at global platforms, including the 77th World Health Assembly, shaping infection prevention strategies. Currently, she leads the infection control and microbiology units at Hospital Sultanah Bahiyah, focusing on antimicrobial resistance and healthcare-associated infections. An active researcher, speaker, and mentor, Dr. Siti contributes significantly to healthcare advancements. This evening, she will present microbial survival and resistance mechanisms, implications for effective device reprocessing. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Siti Rohani to the stage.
Thank you very much, Gilbert. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day, everyone. Okay, I believe we are here not to listen to my lecture, but for the dinner. Okay, and importantly, we are here because we want to know each other, get connected, and maybe later on we can, always discuss and do more things. Okay. So my lecture is very brief. It's going to be within 10 to 20 minutes, and there's nothing new, about these things. So it's about microbial survival and resistance. So why these microbes, they can survive and they can resist. Okay, so terminology. I think everybody knows about cleaning. There is the level 1 of decontamination, then disinfection, and the level 3 is sterilization. So importantly, even though we see cleaning, it's just like cleaning, but that is the most important steps, because without cleaning, you cannot properly disinfect and you cannot perform sterilization. Okay, the second points and third points are about the same. This is about how the microbes survive and what are the factors that influencing their survival and what are the resistance mechanisms involved. That's why these microbes can persist. Okay, there are 4 core mechanisms of microbial survival. The first one, I think everybody knows, biofilm formation. The second one is the residual organic matter, okay, with regards to disinfection, especially for the endoscopes. Number 3 is the intrinsic microbial resistance. Of course, we know all our bacteria, they have their own intrinsic resistance. And number 4 is the environmental and also device-related factors. So number 1 is very simple. Based on this article, they noted biofilm was found in all 39 channels of gastroscopes and colonoscopes. Okay, even though we are doing reprocessing, but formation of biofilm is still there. Okay, and you have to know that these biofilms develop over time. Okay, and it helps to protect the microbes from the disinfectants. These built-up biofilms can accumulate over repeated use and over reprocessing cycles. And of course, presence of organic residue can also enhance this bacterial adhesion and survival. Okay, you see, this is the biofilms. They are not just clustered of bacteria, but they are actually they have this EPS matrix, so they have a protective slime that can make them survive on any surface. Okay, they have the polysaccharides, proteins, nucleic acids, and also lipids. Then number 2, easy residual organic matter. Of course, with incomplete cleaning, the disinfectants can become ineffective. So all these organic materials can block the chemical access and neutralize the disinfectants. So cleaning is the most critical step. Yeah? Cleaning is more important because it helps to reduce 3 to 6 log reduction of the bacteria before we proceed to disinfection. Number 3, intrinsic microbial resistance. I couldn't explain more, but as simple as you know, bacteria, they have some inherent resistance, such as by having the spores, and for mycobacteria because of their lipids, yeah, the mycolic acids, and also non-enveloped virus, also they have some sort of protection. So the HLD may not eliminate these spores in high load situations. Other than that, for any bacteria, some of them will have active defense mechanisms such as efflux bugs, and then they're able to produce enzymes that can degrade your disinfectants, and also presence of outer membrane barriers. Okay, this is just a simple illustration. Number 4, which is very fast, environmental and device-related survival factors. Of course, if you have a very complicated device or very narrow lumens, especially your scopes, it's very difficult to do cleaning properly. Okay, and you have to you know that moisture can actually promote regrowth because you cannot completely clean, and then sometimes if you do not dry properly, then you can leave a moist and biofilm can easily form. Yeah? And repeated reprocessing cycles. Can you imagine, like in my hospital, if you go to visit our endoscopy decontamination room, like maybe 30, maybe 20 times for one particular scopes being reprocessed daily. So it's quite impossible to really achieve, the disinfection and also drying. But we try our best. But with a good high-level disinfection, we hope we are able to eliminate the bacteria and the microbes. So imagine the very narrow lumen, okay? So it can actually attract a lot of organic bacteria, and high microbial loads can actually form, and again, biofilm can be here. Okay, so the resistance mechanisms, again, about the same with the survival. Firstly, is about having the spores, okay? Yes, maybe for Malaysian, we know, what is it, buah kelapa, how to say? Coconut, okay, coconut. So you have the core, you have the cortex, and you have the coats, okay? So it helps the bacteria to survive, and they can survive the heat, the radiation, and the harsh chemicals, and they can live long, longer than we can think of, okay? They can remain in the environment for years, okay, for the spores, okay? And our standard low level and intermediate level disinfection fail to penetrate the spore coat. So we really need high level disinfection with sporicidal activity to perform the disinfection. And then definitely the lipid-rich mycobacteria, they have mycolic acids. So the cell, mycolic acids is actually a long chain of fatty acids. So they will create thick cell walls. So this will prevent penetration of many water-soluble disinfectants. And you see for endoscopy, they will have a risk for Mycobacterium NTM, okay, and other NTMs because they are so common in the environment. And we know that contact time is a matter of important factors to really determine whether the disinfection is adequate or not. Okay, so I just highlight these 3. Bacteriospores, mycobacteria, and one more non-enveloped virus. Okay, maybe we think envelope is more, resistant. No, actually envelope virus, because they are encoded with a lipid which is easy to be disinfected. But non-envelope virus, they have a very strong capsid protein, so it's quite difficult. So we cannot perform a normal intermediate disinfection. We need at least high-level disinfection, yeah, to kill all these three. And only sterilization can highly effectively eliminate the bacterial spores. So lastly is about the steps for effective decontamination. So based on our guidelines, Malaysian guidelines, so you know the semi-critical items really require high-level disinfection, okay? Because this high-level disinfectant can destroy vegetative bacteria, mycobacteria, fungi, envelope, and also non-envelope viruses, but not necessarily all bacterial spores, yeah? Okay, and this is the order, yeah, the level required for disinfection and sterilization based on our guidelines. Okay, so you can see here HLP needed, yeah, for at least bacterial spores for certain bacteria. Okay, so the foundation of reprocessing, as I mentioned again, is always cleaning, because you want to remove the residual organic soil, okay, and to actually reduce some bioburdens, yeah. Okay, this is the exit framework, very fast. Pre-cleaning, cleaning, and also disinfection. So I'm using the Ecolab chemicals, disinfectants, to illustrate this process of disinfection. Just to highlight that critical items really require sterilization, because this is we are dealing with device that can penetrate the sterile sites. Yeah, but for semi-critical items, only device that touch the mucous members or non-intact skin. Whereas non-critical, you can just use a low or intermediate disinfection. Okay, we start first with pre-cleaning. Actually, you can use any other brands, okay? But with Ecolab, they have Inocyme Prime. Yeah? It's actually a foam sheet effect. You just can spray the Inocyme Prime, make sure cover all the equipment and leave it at least like 15 minutes. Can you imagine after you eat and you leave your plates, yeah? If you didn't moist with water, then your plates will become hardened and quite difficult when you want to perform cleaning. Same things apply to your medical devices. That's why we encourage you to spray with this Inocyme Prime. At least they have some moisture that can prevent, yeah, the organic soil from drying during transport to the CSSG, yeah, or to the utility room for further disinfection. Second is cleaning. So cleaning, as I mentioned again, is the most important step. And here you can use any enzymatic detergent. Okay, some people ask me whether we can use non-enzymatic. Yes, you still can use, but according to WHO, they prefer enzymatic detergent. And with Ecolab, you have the Inocyme X3. Okay, so the optimized contact time is up to 5 minutes, but now we increase to 7 minutes as it shows to eliminate virus. Okay, and also yeah, they have the 3 enzyme complex here, protease, lipase, and also amylase. Okay, and lastly, the most important step for disinfection to kill everything, yeah, including the sporocidal, we are going to use Inocyte 1000 LD. Okay, you can use any other high-level disinfection. This Inocyte, there are actually peracetic acid with hydrogen peroxide. The peracetic acid is 0.2% and the hydrogen peroxide is 3%. Okay. You can use also glutaraldehyde or some other disinfection. But why we choose this Inocyte 1000 LD? Because they have this Ferra system technology. The difference is that when you put the activated, only the this Inocyte becomes the peracetic acid 0.2%. So you can have a freshly made high-level disinfection, and you can use up to 14 days as long as you measure the pH before you use, yeah, at least daily. Okay, and just to compare, but you know, Ecolab, they also have glutaraldehyde, okay? My hospital, we're using their peracetic acid, the NSL 1000. It's very rapid, within 5 minutes, yeah? And actually better tolerated because our healthcare worker never complain about this NSL 1000. It's quite safe, but we still encourage people to wear PPE while doing the disinfection. Okay, and lastly is about sterilization, but of course here we are not talking about sterilization, but I think everybody knows what is sterilization, and this belongs to CSSU. But I know Ecolab also do supply their materials to CSSU. Yeah. Okay, that's all. Any questions? I think nothing to discuss. So very brief, just 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I shall pass to Gilbert.
Right, thank you, Dr. Siti.